Communication delivery. This will have 4 lessons. This is a module that turns good BA work into great BA careers. Stakeholder presentation that actually lands. Test case and UAT script generation at scale. Change management communication that drive adoption. And your portfolio and career roadmap, the thing that gets you next role, the race, or the consulting client. Let's bring it home. Stakeholder presentation that land. The steering committee deck is the moment where months of work either get approved or get re-debated for another quarter. Today we will build the 10-slide deck, the audience tuning prompt, the objection handling, the story arc, the rehearsal flow, and the post-meeting follow-ups that locks in decision before the room cools off. There are 7 reasons why presentation fails. Too much text per slide. Audience read instead of listen. Wrong audience tuning, wrong content for the room. Buried lead, no clear ask. No story arc, it feels like a status report. Reading slides verbatim kills credibility. Skipping rehearsal, visible nervousness. And ignoring objection prep. Caught flat-footed in front of the CFO. Great BA presentations are not status report. They are decision-making instruments. The goal is not to inform, is to earn approval. Every executive presentation has 4 parts: context, why we are here; insights, what we discovered; recommendation, what we propose; the ask, what decision is required today; and the 10-20-30 rule from Guy Kawasaki: max 10 slides, 20 minutes, 30-point font medium. If you can't fit your message in those constraints, your thinking isn't sharp enough yet. Tighten it. This is the master presentation prompt. 20-minute executive deck for Tech Off Steering Committee. Audience listed: Sara, sponsor; CFO who controls the budget; CTO who signs off technical, the board observer. Propose stated explicitly, get V1 scope approved and budget released. 10 slides specified with content guidance for each. For every slide, title 3 to 5 bullets, speaker notes for 30 to 60 seconds, anticipated audience question with your answer. The last piece is the difference between an okay presenter and a great one. Let's see this in action. I'll just copy this one. Let me paste it in Claude. Claude has started building the slides, building the framework right now, creating the notes. So these are the slides: title, context, pain, discovery, scope, out of scope, timeline, ROI, risk. So this is the first slide. It also has speaker notes. It also has an anticipated question. Let's go back to the presentation. Let's look at the slide 10, the ask. There are 4 bullets. Approve V1 scope, release the $250,000 budget, confirm October go live date, authorize stakeholder time commitment of 5 hours per week for 6 months. Then anticipated question, can we add CPQ to V1? Pre-baked answer, we deferred CPQ to V2 because adding it extends timeline by 3 months and budget by 80,000. Happy to revisit, but want you to see the timeline impact first. calm, direct, evidence-based. You earned that approval the moment you wrote the prompt. Audience tuning is the highest leverage prep you can do. Before the meeting, ask Claude to mind read each attendee. For Sara, what she most wants to hear, what she is worried about, what would make her stand up for us, her likely first question. For the CFO, what financial metrics matter, how she will evaluate the investment, her likely pushback, what evidence convince her. For the CTO, technical concerns, architecture decisions, she will question risk areas she will probe. For the board observer, strategic concern, governance focus, use this to tune the con. Let's see this in action also. Let's copy this prompt. It's going to give it to Claude. Claude is creating slides for steering committee mind reads. Started building for Sara, who is VP of Sales and is a project sponsor. So it tells us what she wants, what she is worried about, is the rep adoption she is worried about. Similarly, for CFO, payback period, how she is going to evaluate the investment. Let's go back to presentation. Pre-stage the top 15 objections. The prompt asks Claude to predict objections in order of likelihood across 6 categories: scope, budget, timeline, risk, team capacity, ROI. For each, the objection verbatim in the executive voice, why they raised it, the underlying concern, the correct response, substance not spin, supporting data, and when to deflect the great question for the V2 conversation. Include verbatim quotes from interviews where they support the answer. Now, no objection catches you off guard. Let's see this prompt also in action. So take for example, Claude tells us the most likely one is, why are we only doing a partial CPU implementation? Our pricing problem is the biggest issue we have. So why Sara may raise this? And the answer could be that for full CPU automation is a 9 to 12 month, which is 300K, which is beyond the budget for this particular project. So like this, it will generate the objections for us. For CTO, how do we know this scope won't expand once the team gets into the build? And it says that based on experience, it starts at 250K but ends at 500. So over here, we can say we are following the Moscow framework, where if it is not listed explicitly, then we will not implement that particular requirement. And also we have a 10% as contingency built in. Convert the 10 slide from a status report into a story. 5-act structure. Setup where tech cop is today, current pain, what's at stake, inciting incident, why we can't stay here, the earnings miss, journey, what we discovered, the insights, climax, the decision point, V1 versus alternative, resolution, where we will be in October, the vision of success. For each slide, write a 30 to 60-second narrative that connects to the next. Use Sara's language, confident, specific, outcome focused. Avoid passive voice and hedging. So let's see this in action. So it's telling me what the title slide content is, what the narrative should be. where we say 18 months ago, it went public on New York Stock Exchange. Then it tells what is the sales process as of today. So like this, we are setting a narrative. So let's go back to presentation. Don't just write content, describe the ideal visual. For slide 3, current state pain, 3 last statistics, 22% stock drop after earning miss, 14-day average quote to cash cycle, 1.2 million in revenue loss to slow approvals, visual treatment icons red and amber color, center evenly spaced, and what not to include, no walls of text. Translate that into a designer brief. Even if you build the slide yourself, having the brief makes you twice as fast. So let's copy this and see this in action. So this is how Claude is creating the slide number 3 with icons instead of having just text. Don't present cold. 4-round rehearsal with Claude. Round 1, speaker notes checked. Identity rambling, cut to the 20 minutes total. Round 2, hostile audience. Claude plays CFO and CTO mode. Ask the toughest questions. Critiques your answer. Round 3, friendly audience. Claude plays Sara. What wins her over? Round 4, time pressure. Cut to 10 minutes. What must stay? After each round, 3 specific improvement. Do all 4 rounds and you walk in calm and prepared. So let's see this in action. So this is how you can start practicing with Claude. Within 4 hours of meeting, email number 1, all attendees plus EAs. Subject line brief and action oriented. Body 4 or 5 sentences confirming decisions. Attach a 1-page decision record. Email number 2, next morning to Sara, the sponsor. Specific 3 things needed from her in the next 5 days. Tone confident, teammate, not subordinate. The decision record, 1-pager captures what was approved, what was rejected with reasoning, decision deferred and to when, action items with owners and date, next checkpoint date, lock it in before the room cools off. Let's see this in action. Claude is now going to help us draft emails, which needs to be sent after the meeting. I started drafting the first email. It gives us a template where we can fill in the variables over here. 8 presentation mistakes to avoid. Reading slides verbatim, no clear ask. Too much text per slide, ignoring audience composition. Skipping objection prep, no story arc, no rehearsal. And missing post-meeting follow-up. Decisions evaporate without it. Each one diminishes your standing in the room. Avoid all 8 and you become the BA people listen to when you speak. There are 8 action items. Save the master presentation prompt, audience tuning prompt, objection handling prompt, story arc prompt, rehearsal prompt, and the follow-up prompt. Build the full tech ops steering committee deck and run the 4-round rehearsal with Claude. By the end of this exercise, you will have a portfolio quality executive deck and the muscle memory to defend it.